The next wind I want to talk about is the winds of dark prophets. Jeremiah chapter 5. It's another ill wind. The wind of dark prophets. These winds make couples to fight for nothing. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 13. Let me begin from verse 10. It says, go up on her walls and destroy, but do not make a complete end. Take away her branches, for they are not the Lord's. For the house of Israel and the house of Judah have dealt very treacherously with me, says the Lord. Verse 12. They have lied about the Lord and said, it is not he, neither will evil come upon us, nor shall we see sword or famine. Everyone read verse 13. And the prophets become what? Wind. For the world is not in them, thus shall it be done to them. So there are winds of dark prophets. And that is what many in the church today are struggling with. Do you know how many marriages have been brought to an end by prophets? So many. So many. I've had a lot of stories. So many. From the one, the prophet told the husband that your wife is a fish. Is not a human being. Because the woman could not bear children. It's a fish, it's not a human being. She has bore all, you see the way fishes give birth to little fish in millions. It says she has bore all her children in the water. So you can never have a child on earth. So you have to marry another person. Prophet too. And the same prophet went to the woman and said, your husband was not given to you by God. That is why he cannot get you pregnant. And you know, the prophets of nowadays, they are not like Elijah, that is not attractive. Designer suit, wonderful haircuts, using amazing creams. There are women are having problem with. Lust. You see them come seductive in appearances. That was who he was. So while he was counseling both couples separately, none of them know what he's telling the other person. The woman began to fall in love with him. He started sleeping with her, sleeping with the fish. And the fish got pregnant. The fish, before the husband realized it, the woman have looked at him one day and said, it dawned on me that you're not the person I was supposed to marry. The husband realized that she was pregnant. He said, how did it happen? He said, I met my husband. If you were my husband, you would have gotten me pregnant. So I met my husband. And the man ran to the prophet without knowing. And the prophet said, you mean she's pregnant? I think that altar you rose, the altar you raised, must have worked. But you know what Jesus said? That once adultery set in, the marriage is over. So don't marry her again. The wind of dark prophets. And the man packed his load and left. When he left, the prophet packed his load and came. He couldn't before he realized what was happening, the woman have put to bed. Because he was still calling the prophet was using prophecies to confuse him. The Lord said, you should move out of this city, go to the next city. The prophet was driving him away so that he cannot see what is happening. Going to the next city, and he moved to the next city. Until one day, the friend of his wife caught the prophet and his wife with a child in the supermarket. And he took a photo. Thank God for smartphones. Shoot. And send it. And say, look at your wife and your prophet. You know, such people, when Satan blindfold them, even when you tell them, this prophet is not of God, they will not believe you. He gave me the name of my grandfather. He gave me the name of my grandmother. And so what? And this man was heartbroken. He began to feel suicidal. It is called the wind of dark prophets. If you look at what's happening in church today, prophets have ruined marriages with prophecies. With prophecies. One of the cases I handled here, family that was intact, grown-up children who also have their own children, their father and their mother, just they had some minor issues, not crisis in marriage. They felt that the brother of the father is using witchcraft, whatever. So then they go to the prophetess for help. And they went to the prophetess. After the prophetess was through with them, a peaceful marriage where husband and wife, mother and father normally sit down and discuss. They begin to suspect each other. This one is a witch, the other one is a wizard. At the end of the day, the man packed his load and went and lived with the prophetess. And they came to me. I said, I'm not a police officer. There's nothing I can do. Let's just pray. Let's say it was my country and I used the police. We will arrest them. We'll deal with that woman. That was how he scattered a home. If you look at prophecies, sometimes it's not even a prophet in person. The spirit, in the realm of the spirit, a demon will breed visions into peaceful homes. Are you understanding me? Breed dreams into peaceful homes, and they begin to fight. If you don't know how to interpret dreams, you destroy your life. They are dreams that are sent to confuse people. So the wind of dark prophet is not only blowing through prophets and prophetesses. How many young people, singles, who have been caught by this wind? The prophetess will tell you, this is not your husband, the other one is your husband. This is not your wife, the other one is your wife. And everything is a game. Everything is a game. There was one 16-year-old who cried in my office here in 2017. She was in the church and she was in the choir. And the prophetess got up and told one of the richest men in the church who donates money, and he told her, your wife has left you in the spirit. You know why? Because they have disagreement, and it's so strong that the woman don't follow him to church again. Because the kind of closeness between her husband and that prophet was crazy, and all kinds of the visions were coming. And the woman said, I'm not going to that church again. And the prophetess now came and said, you people are no longer in the spirit together. She has left you in the spirit. So God permitted you to marry another. And they were now working on this 16-year-old to marry a man of 50-something. When the prophets become wind, they blow people into demonic directions. Into demonic directions. It can hit the single, and she will marry the wrong person. It can hit the married. It will destroy their home. It can hit a house, and the house will lose the purpose of its existence. This is where they bring issue of raise an altar, silence an altar. This family is under this curse. This family is under let's raise this altar, let's silence. That is to deal with the home completely. All kinds of so-called prophetic leadings that are not of God. You see prophets giving men, women, married people, removing them from their marriages and giving other people to them, confusing people with all kinds of prophecies and bringing homes to ruins. Those are winds of dark prophet. They blow on the singles, they blow on the married. Some of you have been victims of all these things. They make you marry who you should not marry. They make you live with who you should not live with. And now you are struggling with the baggage. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Listen carefully. This ill wind, God has solution for them. They are walls. Are you understanding me? They are walls. And you must build your life and protect yourself from these winds. Are you understanding me? People who fall victims of the winds of dark prophets are those who have not obtained prophetic independence. Remember, I've told you that depend on prophets and prophetess to tell them, who do I marry? Oh, do I marry? I can't forget. Sometimes members turn pastors into such prophet. I had the experience that was 1999, sorry. I sat there in my little office there, and somebody who called me then, GSM was not too old in Nigeria. Somebody who called me, he wanted to come and see me with his wife. So I sat, because me in those days, when you say you want to see me, I spend like 2-3 days praying before you come. So that was what I did. And the guy now came. And he told the wife, they came, entered my office first and greeted me, and I told the wife to go back to the car. He wanted to talk to me alone. And I sat down like this. He now looked at me. He asked me, when my wife entered, what did you see? What did you see? Those are people that dark prophets will blow them like this. And I asked him, why are you asking me what to see? I'm not a seer. I interpret the word of God. It's because I am suspecting that my wife is sleeping with her boss. So I thought when you come here, God will open your eyes, you will see. And I asked him a question. Why do you suspect your wife sleeping with your boss? Sorry, with her boss. When we wanted to get married, she wasn't the one that I wanted to marry. It was her friend. But her friend normally bring her to my house. Because this guy is rich in Abuja. He has lands. If you have land in Abuja, you have somebody. In those days, cars everywhere. And they were members of Winners Chapel then. So he came. And I looked at him. I told him the truth. I said, excuse me, how do you get married? So he began to tell me the story. It wasn't her I wanted to marry. It was the friend. But as each time they come, sometimes they will visit me and they will go and she will come back and say her friend have sent her. And she will come back. When she come back, she will enter my kitchen and begin to cook. Now, so I became close to her. And we started sleeping together without the friend knowing. So at the end of the day, he have to tell her friend. She pushed him to tell the friend that one. God did not approve. That one heartbroken left. And they went to their pastor. I don't want to mention his name. May God help them. And that one wedded them. With oil, now, mantle, everything. So they had, and I said, so a woman who could push the friend aside and marry me is sleeping with the boss. That day I learned a lesson that women should maintain purity. Because the man who slept with you will call you harlot. I learned a deep lesson that day. I said, oh, so she's now, she's sleeping with her boss. Which boss are you sleeping with? Are you understanding what I'm saying there? Which boss are you sleeping with? So that one came for me to now start spewing prophecies. Let's assume he ran into a wolf. That's a serious money because the man has money. So they will use prophecy and collect his car. He's not going to go back with the car. He's dropping the key as a sacrifice. So you see, why we need apostolic doctrine is to protect us from the dark wind of prophets. But so long as you are depending on visions and dreams, you will always fall into their hands. And in the area of marriage, honestly, many people are driven by this wind, especially in church. Somebody should see a vision to tell you who to marry you. Somebody should see a vision to tell you who is coming. Somebody should look at your face and tell you what God is saying concerning your husband. And if you look at it, there are those who have been manipulated. And your husband is going to come so time. I saw him, he's tall, he's black, he's not too white. When I was praying for you, the Lord opened my eyes and I saw the man. He's tall, he's not too tall, he's not too short. What kind of description is that, for God's sake? He's not too tall, he's not too short. I saw him when I was talking. I didn't see his face. But let me keep praying. God will make him turn and I will see his face. And you, because you are desperate, you bring this money, bring that money, and you bring so much money. And this one you have brought is amazing sacrifice. His face will turn. manipulation and all kinds of things. One of the sorry stories I've heard about this kind of crazy winds, a woman, very young woman, I think she was 27. She was 27, she looked 17. Fair in complexion, very, very beautiful woman. So she now came and told me, my pastor, she hit the wall. How did it happen? The pastor, who is prophet, many single people is prophets they want. The pastor, who was a prophet, told her that I see a man, a rich man, that is coming to marry you. But the man is a widower, and he have grown-up children. So the children, some of them are your age, but God is sending you to be a helper for him. It wasn't long, she ran into a widower in spirit and in truth. Rich man who lost his wife, and the children have stopped him from marriage because they have a lot of money. They don't want anybody to come and carry what they have. And he ran into this man, and the man began to sleep with her. And the man began to walk towards marrying her. And he sat the children down and said, enough, you have kept me without marrying. I must marry this one. So she will carry the story to the prophet. The prophet will tell her, bring so sacrifice. Let's silence the children. The last money she gave was $3,000. And all these monies, when he asked her to bring, she knows she does not. He knows she does not have. He will coach her how to collect it from the man. He will coach her how to lie and collect the money from the man. How will a prophet who see accurately still lie? Because a lying spirit sees in the realm of the spirit. A lying spirit, remember the lying spirit that entered the prophet. The lying spirit sees fact. So that is why be very careful when a preacher lies. Be very, very careful, because you don't combine lying and preaching. One of the major signs of a man of God or a woman of God is integrity. People that you can count on their words. So when you cannot count on the words of a preacher, you are dealing with another spirit. So she will coach her, and this time around, she collected the $3,000 from the man, because the man gave her on point. He told her, by so time, he gave her a date that the man is going to wed her. So this, after there was a time he collected $10,000, all of it. So this time it was 3,000, because he told her 3 is the number of God. So she brought the 3,000 and gave, and now traveled with the man out of the country. So when they got back home, the children of the man came and beat her thoroughly and told her that if we see you with our father again, we will kill you. And they drove her out of the house. And do you know where they did it? In the presence of their father. When they were beating the woman, the father turned like this. And when they drove her away, he said nothing. He said nothing. After she has left, she sent a text message to the man. Do you know what the man responded? The man called her gold digger. Do you know what the man did? After I have to use this for the sake of the young ones, I will use it deliberately. After soaking the orange, he threw away the can. But in order to throw it away so that he will not be blamed, he told the children, please help me remove this girl. And they beat her thoroughly. She now came to the prophet, and the prophet told her, no one can understand the ways of God. No one can understand the ways of God. God will clean your tears. And she became suicidal. She said there's no church, there's no God. Until she heard, we were on Truth FM then, until she heard the message on Truth FM. The wind of dark prophets has arrested so many singles today. So many. Some may not be lethal like that. Some of them look like genuine preachers. They may not be using those lethal systems. They are just, they preach good message, but when it comes to marriage, they manipulate you. I can't forget the woman who gave everything. The last Isaac offering she gave was her fridge, just to marry. So they make you sow seeds. That is the language they use. They make you raise altars to deal with demons that are hindering you from getting married. They tell you there's an evil pattern in your family that is not letting people stay in marriage. So come and break this altar. Come and raise this one. They tell you to give this and give that and give. They accuse your mother or any other woman. If you are married, they accuse your mother-in-law. If you are single, they accuse your mother or stepmother. All kinds of nonsense, and they say that is why you're not getting married. You see, I wish I have time to talk about this dark wind. This is the worst we have in the church. The wind of dark prophet. Your marriage can be intact, they will break it. They will break it. You that have never dreamed that your husband is bad, but because you are attending that church, you begin to see dreams about your husband. I wish I have time, I will have showed you in scriptures where it is possible for your husband to be sexually disciplined and not promiscuous, but because you are under a prophetess, he can become promiscuous. Because wherever you see Baal, you see Asherah. And one thing that dark prophets do, they create calamity to be relevant. They create calamity to be relevant in the lives of people. So they could tell you your husband is having other women. Why is not having anyone? Maybe it's just colleagues. People, you see, you can maintain clean relationship with the opposite sex and there is nothing. I mean mature people. Mature people. There is nothing going on. There is nothing going on. I know I have seen men growing up that they take care of people. There's nothing going, mostly in church. Elders like that, they look for those who are struggling and they're always helping, always assisting, and all of that stuff. Not that they have anything attached. So there could be men like that, and the prophetess will tell you he's sleeping with them. And before you know, because to make things look real, he will project spirit into the man's life through you, because he will tell you bring picture or bring this or bring this offering, because in your obedience you submit your family for destruction. In your obedience, the Bible says whoever you obey, you become their slave. As they tell you do this, pray for 5 days, you pray in the midnight, you pray, fast this day, you fast, raise this altar, you raise, bring this money, you bring. So while you are obeying them, you become their slave in the realm of the spirit. And because you are their slave, they can project any spirit in your house. Are you understanding me? It was in our local church then. You can tell people, because who have very crazy spirit. This one is not even perfect. Church members, look at what happened to us. There was a woman who suddenly she became so interested in one of my sisters, as a married woman with her children. And my mother is not this kind of, she was asking, why is it that this woman is so interested in this my daughter? And my mother began to pray. I remember one of those nights we were praying together. And we now my mother saw a dream where they took a dog and they were squeezing into my sister. My mother woke up in the night, in the name of Jesus, and prayed against it. By the following Sunday, the woman was so bitter with my mother. For nothing, no. For nothing. They can project spirits in people. They can project spirits in people. Be very careful who you obey. Let God give you a preacher to work with. Let God give you genuine man. Be very careful who you. That is why I am a radical opposition to any nonsense. What is a father? Which father? Shut up. Do you know what they are looking for? So that they give you instruction, you obey, and they enslave you in the spirit. That is why the father thing had been taken out of proportion. If you watch, spiritual fathering is being upheld than holiness. I mean, in the church today, spiritual fathering is being upheld than holiness. Why? Because a demon have hijacked it, so that you obey them. You follow whatever they are saying without questioning. Any preacher who does not allow you to think with the scriptures, you are in trouble. So that is how they do. They obey, because Asherah is close to Baal, and Asherah is the goddess of sexual immorality, is the goddess of sex. So a prophetess operates with Asherah. Most prophetess operate with Asherah, and most prophets also operate with Asherah. So that's how you see they are full of accurate prophecies and full of scandals. Are you understanding me? So they make you experience things that you never knew exist. For instance, people don't even know there was spirit husband until they enter church. So as you now sit down, they begin to talk to you, begin to dream that somebody is sleeping with you. Where did it come from? It came from the pulpit. It came from the pulpit. That's how when you leave the church, it leaves you. There is that have ruined so many homes, kept so many single. In a bid for them to make you married, they kept you single without you knowing. In a bid, was it not? I can't forget a pathetic story that happened. I think we were still in 2015. A lady that was coming to us to the meetings we used to hold then was the one who shared with me. She said it happened in so she said this young man had a prophetess. Oh, this one that you don't allow God to give you people that will teach you the word and disciple you. That's the greatest insurance. So she had this prophetess that was praying for her, raising altars, whatever, breaking curses. So he was in a relationship, and the prophetess told her it's not the will of God, and she abandoned the woman with a child. He abandoned. So prophetess and began to midwife him into whatever. He ran into another woman, and prophetess now said, it's the will of God. So they now began to plan wedding, and the prophetess will give her date and shift it. It's not the will of God. And he will take her to the Bible where Haman determined the date, because the man doesn't know scriptures. He didn't know that Haman was in occult. So, cheap date. That's why not reading the Bible make you vulnerable. Not being in a church that teaches sound doctrine make you vulnerable. So he will give her date. He will follow. Counsel here, going to pray, bright, but let me pray for 3 days. He will wait, pray for 3 days. You cannot go. Let me do this. Now, finally, the wedding was like next Saturday. He told the guy he should come and spend that week in her house for prayers. The guy came, nobody knew what happened. He came, stayed with her in the house until the wedding passed. Wedding was on Saturday. She released him on Monday. People who witnessed said the man came half mad. He came out of that house half mad. And the lady said to us that week they saw his body in the bush, eaten by animals. What was the prophetess doing with him in the house? Only God knows. Maybe he was forcing him to sleep with her. Maybe she wanted him to marry her. These are dark winds. One of the greatest winds blowing in homes, marriages, and families is the dark winds of prophet. And before now, it was witch doctors. But right now, it is dark prophets.